So, Ben, huge fight, British and Commonwealth titles on the line. Callum Simpson, Steed, Woodall. Talk us about what makes this one special.
I think what makes it special is you've got a ticket seller and a fan favourite and a guy that does numbers like Callum Simpson wanting to prove himself, wanting to get to world level against a fighter far more experienced, with a far bigger resume, with far bigger names, coming off the biggest career knockout that he's had in high confidence and believes he's going to win. He's worked hard for this chance as well, so on many people's eyes a 50-50 fight, and Callum coming in and see him doing his final interviews with a lot of pressure. And this event was sold out weeks ago. Everyone's expecting him to win, especially the home crowd, and to set up some massive nights. So it's a special fight between two guys that are desperate to win.
And obviously the huge occasion at Oakwell last time out, now coming here and selling out in Sheffield. We've seen a Yorkshire legend around the place, Kell Brook, today. Have you got a sneaking suspicion that you might have another Kell on your hands?
That's what I keep hoping. I love Kell Brook. He was my favourite fighter, I would say growing up, but probably. And then I managed to promote his last fight of his career. And he was special, but he connected to the people. Especially in Yorkshire, he was able to sell, he was able to connect with them. He did Bramall Lane and he was here for a long time. I don't think he was doing 7,000 tickets in 24 hours after 10 fights. I think we've got a phenomenon here, but it's early days and he's got everything. He ticks every box, and yeah, Kell Brook's the one to emulate and the one to really target and the one to possibly surpass. But Kell Brook was a phenomenal fighter, and what he did in the ring will be hard to compete with. But Callum's got every opportunity to do it, but the fan base is truly incredible.
This fight, as well as having British and Commonwealth gold on the line, also both men are in the world rankings as well. I'm wondering, for the winner, what does the roadmap look like? Obviously, it's a stacked division.
Listen, I don't promote Steed Woodall, and so this is his ticket to the big time. It really is. Once you headline on Sky Sports and you get a big win, everything changes. So he knows that, and he's been long in the tooth and struggled for opportunities at times throughout his career. For Callum, it's Oakwell. I think he wants to win a world title, and that's what we'll be aiming towards. I think we're going to be looking up top 5 in the rankings, looking for a big, maybe former world champion for him back at the stadium. But it's really hard. It's hard to plan for fights that don't exist. I've been burnt too many times, and I don't want to be burnt again. And I like that Callum's so focused and not getting dragged into anything silly. And he knows how hard it's going to be on Saturday. Get the job done, and then we can dream about Oakwell.
And the co-main event features Caroline Dubois, who's finally made that ascension to world champion status, something that you've always been confident of, so is she. What was it like to finally see her ascend to that status?
Probably relief more than anything. It's expectation for Caroline. We knew we were going to get there. Now it's about not proving you're world level. It's like what she said. This is about proving that she's elite. This is about going down as an all-time great. I believe she's the best lightweight in the world. I believe she's going to prove that this year. But she's got to show a massive performance against Jessica Camara on Saturday night, who's coming not just to upset, but has done it before, has been there. Again, much more experience than Caroline. Definitely the best fighter on her resume. And she'll want to put in a real performance. Start of a big year for Caroline. As I say, relief, but it's still the early days. And yeah, I wanted to unify the whole division in 2025.
And obviously, as it stands, to do that would involve Katie Taylor, who gave her title up rather than fight Caroline. Do you think that's a fight that Katie's trying to avoid, or is it just she's got so much on her plate?
Look, I think she wouldn't want the fight, and I don't blame her in the sense. I'm not ever going to speak badly of Katie Taylor. She's got the big fights, the Amanda Serrano's, the Chantal Cameron trilogy, perhaps, that she'll be focused on. Who knows how many fights that she's got left. She's been an unbelievable servant. I don't see their paths crossing as much as I'd love to say they should. Who knows? It depends will Katie Taylor be still fighting maybe at the end of this year, and when Caroline's got all the belts, then probably it's an attractive fight for her. Whether she's still fighting by the end of the year, I don't know. Of course, it's the fight that we dream of, but I want Caroline Dubois to look at Katie Taylor and say, I'm going to do what she did. I want to be as big as her. She's 23 years old. Katie Taylor was, I think, 30 years old when she became pro. So she's got a lot of time on her side to do some incredible things, and I believe she will.
Now, we were speaking to Caroline before. She expressed an interest in fighting at the Albert Hall show, Tasha Jonas, Lauren Price. What's the turnaround like for that? Is it plausible?
I think it is, especially with someone like Caroline who likes to fight often, looks after herself, wants to fight at world level, and so we're looking at a big fight for March the 7th for her. But again, it's disrespectful, and we had it with Natasha and Habazan. Natasha came through that night. Caroline needs to come through. And then the big fights begin. This is a big fight for first time with that green and gold round her waist. It's just going to be a special moment for her on Saturday night, and she really wants to perform. She really needs to put on a show. As I say, for me, one of the faces of our sport over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years, and massive night for her.
And touching on the Albert Hall show, it's something that we're all looking forward to, another huge all-female event taking place in the UK. Can you tell us which fighters you might be targeting for that, who we might see on the night?
Got a long list. I think every female in the country wants to be on that show. It's an unbelievable main event. We were so happy to be at Royal Albert Hall. It took us maybe 2 years of work to get them to open their doors up to us, almost at stop boxing. But for an event like this was pretty special. Caroline Dubois, you know our women's stable, Caris and Fran, Savannah, all queuing up, much more than that, and a new signing as well. So there's some big fights on that card. I think it will be announced the week after this show in a special press conference in London. But yeah, we want to emulate what we did the first time, which was an incredible night at the O2 with Savannah against Clarissa and Mayo against Baumgartner. This will be different. It's at Royal Albert Hall. It's very prestigious, but we want it to be a massive, massive event for the sport. And yeah, watch this space.
And some breaking news since we've been here that I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond to. Obviously, everyone's talking about the possibility of Benn Whittaker, Liam Cameron too. From your perspective, Ben, where is that fight at?
I am slightly confused by the situation in the sense that we were asked to make an offer. We made an offer. We were told it was too low. We were given a figure that it needed to be. We then made an offer with that figure, and then suddenly we and receive a counter offer and our statement. It's just, we don't want to play games. Ben's going to fight in April. We were asked to make the offer. We made the offer. It's up to them if they want the fight, and it's as simple as that.
And another fight that you're probably sick of hearing about, but I spoke to Eddie Hearn this week, and he put a time limit of this weekend on the possibility of Conor Benn and Eubank Jnr. squaring off. Where's that one at? Is that any closer to happening, or do you think that you might move on?
I think we've done the hard work. We've done the hard work. It should get done now. I'm pretty confident. It's just until it's signed, it's not signed. So I don't want to talk too much. I really don't want to. I don't want anything to go wrong. It feels like we're at the end of I said it yesterday, end of a marathon. And you can see the finish line, and there's 100 metres to go, and you don't want them to trip up, and you don't want to trip up, and you just want to get through. It's going to be such a big event for this country. I think the boxing purists underestimate how big this fight is for the wider entertainment sector and the wider sports sector. It's absolutely huge, and we've done the hard work, and hopefully there's some good news very soon.
So as we speak, as far as you're concerned, it's all on track. And one of your fighters made a big call out this week. Obviously, everyone's talking about Anthony Joshua possibly fighting Tyson Fury, something we'll come on to. But Martin Bakole has thrown his hat into the ring. He fancies a bit of AJ. What do you think of that as a potential fight?
I think it's a fight that won't happen, because I just think there wouldn't be. Look how many people have ran for the hills when faced with fighting Martin Bakole. It's not. The dangerous thing is now he's one fight away for a world title, and no one can avoid him. And I think that's the relief now coming into the career. Managed to work his way up to the IBF eliminator and final eliminator, and he's one fight away. I don't think it'll be Anthony Joshua. I think he'll fight Efe Ajagba. The fight's been agreed, and then he'll fight for a world title. And maybe when he's got a world title, AJ would consider it as a massive fight in Africa. You'd have to speak to him, but we're just focused on Martin Bakole, and right now we believe we have the most dangerous man in the heavyweight division. We believe he's going to win a world title, and we can possibly unify, and it's all on track now. He's one fight away.
And where do you see that avenue for him to a world title? Obviously, you've got two heavyweight champions of the world at the moment, but Usyk, you don't know whether he's going to continue on or whether he might retire or fight Daniel Dubois. Where do you see Bakole fitting into the landscape?
I think he's going to beat Ajagba, and then he's going to fight the winner of Parker Dubois, unless there's that unification and there's a step aside, and then he'll fight the winner of that. So that's the only possibilities now. So it's exciting times.
And if he does step aside and fight the winner of that, will there be another fight in the interim after Ajagba, or will he?
I think there'd have to be. Look, Martin will fight anyone. Line them up, because Martin Bakole is going to beat every single one of them, and they all know it. Don't look at what they say on camera. Look at their actions. Look at what's going on. It's only a matter of time now.
And obviously a huge fight coming up on the horizon. Vidal Riley, Isaac Chamberlain, everyone's talking about that one. I think it's the big test we've all wanted to see for Vidal. Just talk us through what should be an incredible fight.
Huge fight. Huge pressure for both guys. Isaac Chamberlain come up short every time at the top level, but only by a whisker. He'll want to make those adjustments in his new training team. It's a completely new Isaac Chamberlain from the press conference yesterday, completely locked in. It's a dangerous task for Vidal Riley, who's not fought at that level. But he's a very, very talented fighter, and one that's really hungry for world level honours. Great fight. I've seen a lot online. I don't think anyone can call it. Yeah, look, we'll see. May the best man win. They're both great guys, and this is what we need in British boxing. It's an unbelievable fight.
People talk about Vidal Riley fighting Jake Paul. It's something that people have linked him to quite a lot. But he seems to be going a very different route. Do you feel like he's not interested in that influencer side?
Not interested at all. And to be fair, I've never, ever seen... I've never experienced a fighter. It's crazy in this day and age. Everyone wants money. Everyone's only interested in money. He's making decisions that earn him less money. Genuinely is. How many people can say that in their profession? He believes in himself. He wants to do incredible things. He wants to win titles. He believes in boxing. He's an old head on young shoulders. And it's fascinating to be around. And he wants the big test. He wants to be treated like he's come from zero, like he's come from nothing, like he has to go through the hard fights as the away fighter and work his way to the top. And he wants to become a world champion, and no one can question that. And that burns deeper inside him than anything else. And it's a special thing to witness. Huge amounts of self-confidence. And I can't wait to see it happen.
London at the start of next month, Adam Azim gets what I think, and I'm sure you'll agree, is his biggest test to date. Talk us through what this fight means for him and what it might mean for his 2025 going forward.
It's another nervous one. You know, when you're stepping up, it's always nervous for me. The O'Hara Davies fight gave me so much confidence, because if he can produce what he produces in the gym, you're looking at a potential Hall of Famer, and I don't say that lightly. The kid is frightening. He then comes to O'Hara Davies, systematically beats him down and looks phenomenal, and didn't look like he was under pressure whatsoever. That's given me a lot of confidence now that he can handle the big nights, he can handle the big names, he can handle the big fights. Sergey Lipnets was the fight that we were going to make, as long as he not just looked good, but looked superb against O'Hara Davies. He looked superb. We're ready to go. It's a huge test. It's a former world champion. Sergey Lipnets took it in 5 seconds. This is the fight he wants. 22-year-old, he's licking his lips thinking, here we go, I'm back in the big time. So, yeah, it's a massive main event on what is a huge card.
From one fighter looking at a big 2025 to another, what does this year look like for Big Fraser Clark?
It's looking good, and it didn't look good in October, but he's recovered extremely well. He's back in the gym, he looks good, and he'll fight in April. And I can't wait for him to fight in April. He'll be back with a bang. He'll be back in the scene. And he's one fight away from being right back in the mix. He's such a popular guy. He's such a fan favourite. But he's only had 10 fights. And he's still a baby in professional terms. And he was not rushed, but trying to become the fastest fighter ever to win a British title. The first fight against Fabio Wardley was the best fight I've ever seen live. I'll actually go down and say that. But what happened the second time showed him one lapse of concentration. It doesn't matter who you're fighting, your lights can be out, and that's a big lesson that he can now take into the rest of his career. And I think he's still got a huge amount to achieve.
Could he still be a world champion? Is that something that you're still
I
targeting?
genuinely believe so. I genuinely believe he's got the talent and he's got the pedigree and he's got the ability. Now it's, can he match everyone for that hunger and desire? I believe he can. I believe he does. Can he take the learnings of last fight? And things could open up for him very well. As I say, it helps that he's such a popular guy, he's such a fan favourite, he drives such big numbers for Sky Sports, and when you've got that behind you, it means you can go all the way.
And another fighter come back in for you this year, we assume Savannah Marshall. I just wanted to ask, obviously it won't be her first fight back, but is the direction of travel for her still eventually getting back in there with Claressa Shields?
It has to be. Look, we had such a good time with Savannah. I really enjoyed my time. It was one of the first fighters that we really built as a headliner. And then it culminated in a huge night at the O2. Then she unified at 168, and it was just an unbelievable story, an unbelievable journey. Seeing her grow as a person, seeing her mature into such an accomplished fighter, such an accomplished headliner, now a worldwide name. But then you don't get the big nights, the big fights, because they just aren't there. And when you've ticked every box, you don't want to go back to doing that. She went and had a huge opportunity with the PFL because of the name, because of what the brand that she built into. But now she wants to come back to boxing her love. And Claressa Shields is what she feels that she needs. It's what she feels that she wants. It's what we feel that we want. At 168 over 3-minute rounds, I believe Savannah Marshall can beat Claressa Shields. And that's what we're targeting.